Of course, we know that what had marred this conference from taking place is indeed that court action in which we saw from some of the ANC members here who were, of course, disputing the PTT in this province, which took this province to a conference. But, of course, we now know the latest coming out from the South Gauteng High Court is that that matter has been dismissed. But joining us now to get the reaction of the ANC is, of course, the spokesperson, Pule Mabe. You must be quite delighted by the news coming out from the South Gauteng High Court this evening.
Well, of course we are, Mbali, and this is consistent with what we've already always said, that we had placed faith on our own internal processes. We were never even worried about the case that was before the courts. Even when we spoke to yourselves a few days ago, we did confirm when some of you in the media had doubts whether conference will proceed or not. We did assure you that conference will indeed proceed. The court processes, as our Treasurer General, Comrade Pule Mabe has indicated, vindicates us. It actually asserts and affirms internal process of the African National Congress. You would know that conditions under which we are putting up these conferences have got to do a lot with our new membership system. One of the issues that was being contested in the court of law was the role of the authority of the National Working Committee to take the kind of a decision it took, which was to disband the conference, which was to disband the PEC of Mpumalanga, including their roadmaps and all of that, which is one of the issues that they were raising. But what they might have not realized or paid attention on is that this past weekend we would have had a National Executive Committee, which then went on to ratify that decision of the National Working Committee, because 13.8.2 of the ANC, Rule 13.8.2 of the ANC Constitution, enjoins the National Working Committee to be able to carry forward the work, the current work of the National Executive Committee, which is effectively the day-to-day running of organization. A responsible leadership of the NWC cannot, when seized with a structure whose term of office has already lapsed, and that structure ought to preside over a conference, not take a decision that seeks to safeguard the credibility of the African National Congress and its own processes, because we are now a litigious organization. People run to court. So you ought to make sure that you take decisions that protect the property of the ANC in that way.
When it comes to those members who took the ANC to court, what action will be taken? I know that the ANC has continuously preached that members who take the party to court should indeed expel themselves from the party. Will you be taking any action as the ANC?
Well, I think over time we had realized, they are effectively just really exercising their own rights, which rights are stipulated in the Constitution. We are not going to be firing anyone. We need to make sure that we take our time to conscientize our members, to have faith in internal processes, to believe that the internal structures we have set up, like the National Dispute Resolution Committee, are sufficient enough to be able to solve their own problems. We also need, in some cases, to opt for political solutions, because the ANC, for it to be strong and to continue discharging its responsibility in society, it needs everyone. So we won't be firing people because they went to court. We need to reach out to them so that they understand that they can still resolve their own concerns in the African National Congress. We need everyone. It must be all hands on deck.
When it comes to looking at this conference, and just moments ago we saw Pule Mabe, the Treasury General of the party, calling on for a peaceful conference. We know that Mpumalanga in recent years has been marred by violence, especially at the BGMs. So far, how do you look at the situation? Is it so far a peaceful conference?
Well, I'm sure when you go back to the newsroom, you will be able to tell your colleagues that you too, as a journalist, felt safe in this conference. You are here. It has been peaceful. There could have been delays or glitches here and there. But, you are here to speak for ourselves. The conference has been peaceful up to so far. And we are hoping that our members of the ANC, will be able to carry through this conduct up until Sunday. We must commend them for a peaceful start of their own conference. It is beginning to now send a strong message that Mpumalanga is a peaceful province of the African National Congress. We want to see this kind of environment being maintained up until we get to the 55th National Conference and beyond.